However, Coco replied, "If I have a baby, I'll get married." At first, she will be very happy to get married. If not, what does it mean? But when love is thin, all the exits are closed. Marriage. People get married for peace of mind and honor. She wasn't interested in that kind of thing for Coco. Also, as the Duke of Westminster, he needed a succession. But when she started to get married, Coco was already 45 years old. All tests have shown that there's little hope of having a baby. I always knew when to leave. Becoming an English woman was not Coco's destiny. What people call great position was no longer what Coco wants. So Coco thought it would be better for him to marry someone else. And going on a voyage with him meant leaving work. She felt strong stress. I couldn't abandon Maison Chanel, the only thing I have, because it's the only one I made by myself. The Duke of Westminster was a non-working man. Here was the difference from Coco's only beloved man, Cato. The graceful life of a non-working man was boring for Coco. Choosing work over marriage was an unbelievable choice at the era. Moreover, he was the richest man in the world. Coco had the character of not seeing a man as a prey. It was work that was able to support it. When love was at its peak, she realized that even if her judgment was weak, it was a different way when her passion for love began to awaken. When she was working on a different way, she always felt uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right somewhere. In other words, it wasn't comfortable. After all, the best thing for Coco was work. You can't balance work and family. It's impossible to have two of the best in life. Either you don't know to stick at all anything or both are modest. 1935, Coco was 52 years old. The era went away from Coco. Communism was weakened. People went on strikes all over France and even at Chanel shop. Employees impose their demands on employers and do not work until they are resolved. She just couldn't understand this. I can't forgive them for not being able to enter the castle I made. For Coco, the strike was nothing more than injustice. In 1939, she was 56 years old. Coco closed the shop of Cambon Street, with the exception of the perfume and accessories department, at the outbreak of World War II. Approximately 3,000 employees were all dismissed without notice. The method was heavily criticized. Also, Coco thought that one era was over and it wasn't the era of dresses that would start from now on and that the time to make clothes would never come again. During the war, Coco had a German lover. He had worked at the German embassy in Paris and was suspected of being a spy. Coco was also suspected of being a spy, and they say she turned traitor. In 1945, 62-year-old Coco moved to Switzerland and spent 8 years. It was almost ashram. It looked like an elegant hotel life, but she filed an proceeding over rights against Chanel's perfume company. Then she had gotten oceans of money by winning the suit. In 1947, 64-year-old Coco was angry at a hotel in Switzerland. In Paris, tightly squeezed waist, corset, flare skirt, 10-centimeter high heels, femininity-focused clothing for upper-class women, everything Coco had buried was revived now in the limelight. Coco couldn't help but it was almost impossible that it would come back after a long blank in the rapidly changing industry. Young people didn't know Coco, who was over 70 years old, and those who knew didn't let it go her actions during the war. Nobody wanted Chanel anymore. The year Coco traveled to the United States, France was cold to Coco, but America was very welcome. 3 years later, Marilyn Monroe said, "I wear Chanel number 5 when I go to bed." So number 5 sold more and more. In 1953, 70-year-old Coco returned from Switzerland to Paris, recalling the staff of her former atelier. She was trying to make a comeback in the mode industry. On February 5, 1954, on the day of the comeback collection, a shop on Cambon Street was a crowded enemy trying to see a legendary woman, 71 years old. But the collection was a failure. It was badly criticized by all the media, British and French. The articles were Chanel's era was end, out of fashion. Even so, Coco stuck to her belief, "I will keep on making the clothes I want to wear." The wind blows from America. The media reported big news of Chanel's comeback. Chanel supported it because it was a new style in the new era. In the United States, the women from the front society of the war were fine after the war. They needed clothes of social status and needed to wear at a workplace or at evening party. It was simple and elegant. Eventually, French fashion magazine continued. It matched Chanel because the magazine was for women of self-reliant mentally and economically. At last, Chanel has made a complete comeback in the mode industry. I would like you to subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button.